Dun dun dun! Greetings, greetings, and salutations. Welcome. Earthquake! Here we are. It's a new year again, still. Second week, second show, new season. But welcome. I'm your host, CAV Boss. Hello, Mr. JS Twitch. How are you doing? I feel like you've been ignoring me. Or not even ignoring me, not even acknowledging that I exist. But we are here for another night of talking all things CAV and crafting away. I know last week I started painting on my... Oh, you're still sick? I'm sorry. I didn't think you were that sick. I mean, I knew you were sick, but I didn't know it was still dragging on. Do I need to send you some kind of a care package or anything? Spathis, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. They are at the place that we're having masters done. There's about a dozen figures there right now that we're waiting on. Speaking of being sick, same problem there. They had the Omni COVID go through in December, wiped out family. I mean, not killed anybody, but I mean just between families and employees, and they've had a disaster on their hands too. So everybody's playing catch up. But I hope you're feeling better, because I know the last time we talked you were sick. So hope it still hadn't been going on that bad. Anyway, so like I talked about last week, as opposed to just kind of talking and everything like that too, I'm going to have projects that I'm working on. I got 3 or 4 board setups that I'm working on. So it did officially turn out to be COVID. I figured it probably would. So, well, I am very, very sorry to hear that you got sick. But I think could have been worse. So let's at least be happy for that. So last week I had started on painting my... All right, so let me kind of cover over this thing. So I'm working on a bunch of terrain projects all of a sudden as well. I am building a starport. I am finishing up with a desert map. I'm working on a kind of a cavern cave map thing that I've got an idea for. I'm working on my little shanty town that I'm building. And I actually got in my all water mat today, because I want to build a kind of an island hopping game with bridges and stuff. So these are all projects that are going to take a lot of time, and in between everything else. So we're good there. While I'm thinking about it, can you hear me okay, James? Is that working okay? According to all my sound bars, I should be blowing your speakers out, but sound great, good. I switched back to my little lapel mic, so hopefully as I twist my head around, I won't cut out as bad as I used to. So anyway, so I had intended on getting all the Terran models that I had done so far are ready and primed, airbrushed with their base coats so that I could work on them a little bit more. I did not get that done. I got to playing around with terrain too much. So I didn't get as far into that as I wanted. But next week I will have more minis to work on. But I did, as I talked about, I did get to working more on my shanty town. So last week, this was the one that I showed you. This was a resin print that I did on my printer. And the gentleman who made these particular files claimed that they were 6mm. So I upscaled them to 10mm, and this is what I got here. This was still way, way too little. So I upscaled them again, and this is what size they are now. So big difference, but these are the right scale now. These are what these need to be for CAV at 1/180th. So pretty close. You can see they scale good to the minis. So that's good. There's a dingo. You can see kind of next to one there too. It just goes back to just kind of on a side note, talking about scale and everything like that. You know, the other mech game claims to the end of time that they are 6mm, but there's no way they're 6mm. That's just nuts. Because I mean, 6mm is going to be right around 6 feet, somewhere between 5 and 6 feet, depending on what you're on the deal. So, you know, mechs are 30 to 40 feet tall. So basically, if you take 6 feet times 6, you get 36 feet, which would be 36mm. So it's like 1.25 inches. So it just drives me crazy over that, because there's no way that those things are that scaled. But so these are the ones I've got done so far. Now, this particular gentleman, he made some base files. There's like, I don't know, there's 6 or buildings or so. Maybe there's some more to the deal. But what I ended up doing is, and I had a file mess up. I ran out of, because I'm printing these on my FDM printer, on my Prusa. So I ran out of filament in the middle of the night when I wasn't here, and it's supposed to hold so that you can put filament back in it when you come in and start it up again. Well, unfortunately, it cooled the plate down, and of course, by cooling the plate down, everything popped off. So I couldn't go back and start them back up in the morning when I came in, but they were about 85% done. So I can fix these. So I went in and I made me a bunch of my own metal plating and stuff like that. And I'm going to glue those to the top. And those are actually, I didn't have those far enough done today to bring them, but I'll have those. And now I can make a bunch of my own shaped buildings too. So that'll give me, because I want a pretty good, kind of about the size of this mat here that I've got is kind of the size that I'm going for. I intend to, each building, I'm going to base, I'm going to cut an MDF base for it. That way I can kind of decorate it with dirt and stuff up around it. And then I'm going to build a kind of a master thing for them all to sit in. But I didn't want to go ahead and mount them all to that, so I can use them for other things too, in other events. So anyway, so this is what I've got so far. These are the buildings that you see here, a deal like that. I also have lots of little barrels and things like that I'm working on. Stacks of tires, things like that, sheet metal. This was kind of a cute one with an old gas sign on top of it. So I've got kind of a modern windmill here, and then a water thing to hold water. You can go either one. This building here, you can mount either one of these to the top. I think I'll probably go with the water one. I think the water one makes more sense. So it kind of goes with that particular stand. Also, I'm building all these walls that'll go in areas too, to kind of channel people and stuff like that for the battles. So this is going to be a pretty elaborate project. The desert, how low tech is it? This is out on the outskirts, backwards planet. These people are just surviving. And you know, I know we do a lot of high tech and stuff like that, but I think in the future a lot of worlds are going to be this way. They're just barely holding on. You know, all the fancy stuff that they broke down. You know, their lone fusion reactor skunked out, whatever. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going with this particular deal. So kind of a backwards on the edge. What is the power source? Petros? Well, I think that, you know, they're going to be running off of ethanol or something, so some of their cars and stuff like that. Again, when you're out in the deal and you've got stuff breaking down and you don't have the money to hire somebody to fly somewhere and bring stuff back to you or whatever, people are it's gonna fall back. Where are the horses? I'm probably gonna put some horses in here. So I figured I was gonna build a couple of little. Without even saying that, I had already intended on putting some horses and probably some pigs and sheep. I'm really going all out for this. I want this to be a really cool section on the board to fight through, little alleyways and stuff like that. And some of these will be on elevated hills and stuff like that throughout the deal, you know, setting up to block some lines of sights and things like that too. So I think it'll be fun. It's a fun board. I love building terrain. So this, you know, having access now to being able to 3D print and stuff like that is just crazy. How about some sci-fi creatures? I guess possibly something alien. Could be. I don't know that I'm going to get that far on it. I guess maybe I can try to come up with some kind of an alien cow. How about that? They've got some kind of local animal that they've domesticated that they're using for food. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll figure something out there. That'll probably be. I probably need to look around and see if I can find some kind of a D&D monster or something like that would work for something like that. I don't know. I'll look and see. Maybe find the horses from. Sound is fading up and down. That's because I'm probably talking louder and quieter. We'll kick it up a little bit. See if that doesn't fall off as much. When I get to thinking, I don't talk as loud. All right, so I need to work on this. What I'm going to do first is, obviously, with this being corrugated metal, we're going to have a lot of silver here. So I've got the 3 silver ones here. Filigree silver, blade steel, and I think the other one's some kind of, it's a mithril or something. The label's faded out. I have to go back and look. What's 52? Look here, make sure I know how I can do that. Paints. That way I'll know for sure I've got the right name. Shining mithril, so it's 54. That sure does look like a 52. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they do. Anyway, we're going to do a little collar deal here and see if we can see what we got here. I never can remember. Hi, Elmer, how are you doing? We are just working. I'm working on my shanty town tonight. All right, so let's see. So blade steel should be the darkest one. So let's look here. All right, we need a needle here. Well, James, as soon as you get to feeling good or whatever, you need to come up. We need to do a hobby weekend. Lots of stuff going on here. I can get my needle here. Well, crapola. Come to me, come to me. All right, let's see if we can get my little pokey here to get us some paint. I shook these up real good before the show, so hopefully they'll keep going here. All right, so this is the blade steel. All right. Let's rinse this out right quick. La, 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 la. So then the next one should be the filigree silver. Should be the in-between one. None of these are flowing tonight. All right. All right, see what we get with the filigree. All right, so we got filigree silver there. Okay. All right, now we're going to try the unknown one and see if I have just another version of blade steel or if this is actually shining mithril. I thought I had all three of them here. That's the only thing that's kind of... But that sure does look to me like another blade steel, which would be 52, so... I believe that's what that is. Because this should actually be the lightest of the three. Looks the same to me. All right. So I know the blade steel is the darkest one, so that's the one I need tonight. So I'm going to start painting my buildings, my corrugated metal. So my plan is to paint the corrugated metal first, and then give it a nice black wash, and then come back and touch it up with some lighter stuff, and then put some rust on it. I'm gonna have to play around to see what color I think really looks like rust. I guess these FDM buildings I always spray with automobile filler primer, and only I had gray. I guess I need to see if I can get some maroon, because trying to paint silver over gray sucks. But we'll make it through. As always, I always want to give the disclaimer. I am not a pro painter. I am not a really great painter. I just paint. So I can talk a good talk, but if you're looking at me to make you into the next great painter, this is not the place. Just FYI. But I intend on painting up some shipping containers and stuff too for our little shanty town. All right, so we're just gonna paint along, and if you have any questions, speak up, and I will do my best. Yeah. No, I figured I was going to try to do a little graffiti kind of stuff, some signage, stuff like that. I figured put little stuff on it. One building's probably the little local dive bar, and stuff like that. And I may paint some a little different color too, or something. It doesn't always all have to be silver. I have a corrugated roof on my building here at the shop, and it's red. Very red. But we're going to start off with nice silver corrugated first. Nice thing is a lot of these have their tires, and this one's got a dumpster off here in the corner, and this one too there. So stuff like that. It'll look cool painted up. Oh, this one may be just about out. All right. I have to figure out what colors I'm going to paint the inside window panes. These particular buildings did not have the windows knocked out of them, which I guess I could have went in and did, but I didn't. Wasn't thinking ahead. Everybody's weather's doing in their area. 65 degrees here yesterday, and it's 20 degrees today. Like, oh, you're kidding me. I wanted to paint them before I put them on their basing because I plan on, putting some old bushes and stuff up against the bottoms, so I didn't want all that in the way when I was trying to paint them. A lot of dust and dirt around them and stuff. Is the idea, the plan. A little mix a little green in on the big board that it's going to sit on. I know it probably doesn't, I guess you can see a little bit in the camera. It doesn't look like it's changing colors, but if you are actually here, you can definitely see the difference. Probably go in and paint some boards and stuff in on the side a little bit where the metal's sitting on top of it. Seems like a good job. Yeah, the only problem, these silvers suck going through the airbrush. But for the big parts, when I go in and do the rest of these, I will. I just didn't want to mess with hooking it all up and here just for an hour's worth of show. Of course, there's areas that I really don't want to get the silver on, and I really don't feel like messing with taping these all off. So there is that. Though I like to paint with a brush. I find it very relaxing. This shanty town is like Rome. It's not going to be built in a day. And then there's the fact that this silver paint sucks going through an airbrush. Or at least that's my experience with it. Running out of places to hold on to it. I guess I haven't painted this wall. I thought I painted this wall. Duh. I'm hoping here in the next week or two to have some really good news about the broadsword dropship, by the way. We haven't given up on that fight. This auto primer filler really smells. Powerful juju. All right. Let that dry for a minute and Excuse me. All right. Pretty cleaning back out. All right, so we need to figure out, I have this ink. It needs to be, their ink is way, way too heavy. James, what do you think would be as a good mix for their ink, James? I'm thinking 1 part ink to 3 parts thinner. What do you think? I've got my little dripper up here. La, 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 la. Try that on a test model? Well, yeah, I guess. Let's see here. Oh, lost my dropper. Oh well. We'll see if we can fight through it here. All right, so we're going to put 1 part ink and then I can't believe I've done something with my dripper bottle. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear here. We can get a brush here that'll. There's 1, 2, 3. Crappy brush there. Time to throw some brushes away. Some of these have got in pretty bad shape. I bet we can make that one work. All right, so let's mix this up here a little bit here. And let's try it on, how about we do our barrels? We'll do some on our barrels here. What do you think? Too dark or, well, I don't have oils. What do you think? Too dark? I think it looks all right. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought too. All right, see what we can do here. Yeah, no, I am. I'm going to dry brush it afterwards. Mix some more up, though. Stuff dried up quick. All right, so 3-1. So let's go 2 drops. We'll do a double one. 1, 2. And hopefully I will get my dripper bottles next time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, the one we're using on it. All right. Well, that definitely darkened her up. All right, so while that's doing that, I've got some colors here that I want to try out to see what's my best rust color. Because apparently I don't have any paint that's called rust. So we've got Kobold Scale. And then we have Crimson Red. Or not. Then we have Ruddy Brown. Well, I thought of that, but, and then we have Maroon Red. So let's see which of these will make the best rust color. I may have some more, but out of my pile, that's all I had right now. All right, so let's go through here. This is the Kobold. It looks a little too purple, I think. All right. I'm thinking, I don't know how well you can see here on the deals, but I'm thinking number 3 here, which was the ruddy brown. The others have too much red or purple in them. But that ruddy brown looks pretty rusty. The crimson red is way too much purple. The Kobold scale is more reddish, and this has got a little, the last one's got a little purple in it too. So, ruddy brown will be our rust when we're ready for it. All right, because this was Kobold scale. And then crimson red. And then this was maroon red. All right, so we got those. We'll remember those now. Hopefully, that'll get dry enough that we can. I don't think I've got my wet palette wet enough. That feels pretty wet, but the paper's not very wet. I don't know. How much water am I supposed to have in there? Well, it soaked it all up, so I'm going to assume it needed more water. Guess you probably won't put water in it just till it won't take no water, right? That's kind of the idea. Now my paper is going down like I think it ought to. Paint on my finger there. and fill it up and then tip out the excess. There ain't very much left excess in it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, what do you think? Does that look like it's wet enough? You set the paper on it and it soaks it down. This is my first official, real one. Usually I just use a wet paper towel. I've had this thing forever. I think way back, a year or two ago, I had it when you were here, and I never have broke it out until finally I said, need to get to using it. All right. Feels pretty dry. All right, so we're going to go back with the filigree silver and dry brush it. They did. Yep. They did. All right. So let's see here. My dry brush out here. One of. For March, I believe. I think I got enough on there. should be patchy. Well, I figured what I would do is I was going to be a pretty aggressive one with this, and then get the shining mithril and go back over the top of it with that too, and be a little more patchy with it. And then I was going to come in with a little rust and dab it up. So, I don't know. I like it. I think it's... Oh, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be horrible. I just figured with all the patchy dirt and stuff like that, wind blowing against it and stuff. And these are probably, there's no telling where they accumulated this metal from. Maybe there's an old mine or something that they had originally worked and then it didn't turn out to be as good as they thought it was going to be, or I don't know. I'm still thinking of scenarios. So I think I'm happy with it. Like I said, I'll put a little more of the shining mithril on it. Put a little more light spots in it. I figured, with the little bit of the kind of catches the ends a little. So, oh, I like that. May it be harder to see on your end, but looks pretty good. Okay, so we are going to call it a night until next week. You happen to be in the Wichita, Kansas area, hit me up. We can sit down and paint one night or something. I'm trying to be more hobby orientated. I've spent too much time. I have not watched. Actually, me and Sue Ellen have got to watching Cobra Kai on Netflix. So we're reliving our 80s. I'm really looking forward to the Raised by Wolves on HBO. Let's be back on again next month. I really like the first one. Very, very hardcore sci-fi. And I got to finish up on The Expanse. All right. The rest of these are junk. Yeah, the books are really, really good. but I've enjoyed the series. I've got, I think, just the last season that I haven't watched. So anyway, well, folks, thank you for being here tonight. I hope so. I'm glad to hear that you're feeling somewhat better, and hopefully you'll get good and well and everything there. So, did sound stay pretty good through the show? I'm still kind of playing with this. Good enough? Okay. Well, I'll keep playing with it. I'll get it right at some point. You can improve it. I see. I don't know what else to do to it. It's all pretty high-end stuff. So, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'll keep playing with it. Maybe I don't have it turned up on the board enough. Something like that. I do have sound effects. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Be back again next Wednesday. We'll have some more of this done, and we'll see where we're at with Shantytown and with our Terran forces. So, good night. Take care. Be safe. Get to feeling better. I will talk to you later.